Hi everybody, thank you for tuning in for case study number 2. My name is Kaylee Reynolds. I am currently enrolled in SPCE 683-800 at Ball State University. For this presentation, we will be talking about my client E. She is female. She is 3 years and 2 months old. She was diagnosed with autism spectrum disorder and she also has language impairment. That diagnosis is accompanied by deficits in social communication and restricted and repetitive patterns of behavior. Some areas of concern noted by parents and staff is motor skills, social skills, communication, cognitive intellectual skills, adaptive skills, and the presence of maladaptive behaviors. Moving on to the targeted behaviors and behavior definitions. So the first behavior that we'll be talking about is biting. So for E, biting can be defined as any instance of her teeth coming into contact with the front of her hand or arm or a staff member's body part and biting down with force. So an example of biting for E would be she places her mouth on a staff member's leg with force, but the technician was able to redirect in enough time so where the teeth did not get a chance to make contact with one another. A non-example of biting for E's case would be sucking or biting on her fingers. Regarding the function of E's biting behaviors, ABC data was collected to find the function. It was then evaluated by the BCBA and students at the clinic. The primary function found for her biting was escape, with no secondary function being established. If the non-preferred demand is dropped, E no longer engages in the biting behavior. But if the demand is not dropped and it is consistently placed, she will continue to engage in biting behavior. This behavior could be at herself or it could be directed at other individuals. So moving on to the interventions for biting. First and foremost, we want to ensure that E has access to and is wearing her chewy at all times. This way we can promote differential reinforcement of incompatible behavior. The goal is for the chewy to make it physically impossible for E to bite others or bite herself. The goal is that biting this chewy will replace the behavior of biting herself or others. So this is used as both an antecedent and a consequence. She is provided with her chewy both before the possibility of biting and in response to biting. Looking at E's second targeted behavior, it is throwing. Throwing can be defined as any instance or attempt of an item leaving her hand with force in any direction. Listed below are 2 examples and 1 non-example. The first example, throwing a toy on the ground while playing independently. Example number 2, throwing a toy coin when presented with the cash register. A non-example, throwing a ball when playing catch with RBT. Looking at the functions of E's throwing, we found the primary function to be escape and the secondary function to be sensory automatic. This was found by collecting ABC data, and that data was later evaluated by students and the BCBA. Some examples of times that throwing have been observed include E is using utensils while eating at the table, E is playing with preferred items, and 3, E has been given stimuli for a non-preferred task. So let's take a look and see what E has for her throwing. She currently has a few programs. One is following the instructions for Give Me. This is currently a 1-step direction program, and accuracy with this program is currently trending upwards. We have also noticed that E is now spontaneously giving items to adults that she is no longer engaging with. The second program is placing a toy on surface without throwing it. This is more so of an overcorrection procedure. So if E throws something as opposed to setting it down, we prompt her to pick up the item and set it down appropriately. The accuracy with this program is not consistent. So are these evidence-based interventions? The answer is yes. The following are evidence-based interventions that are being used with E. Antecedent interventions, differential reinforcement of alternative, incompatible, or other behaviors, naturalistic interventions, and discrete trial teaching. So use of her chewy for biting we use as an antecedent intervention, and differential reinforcement of incompatible behavior. For throwing, in regards to naturalistic interventions, that is more so her program that involves setting a toy down independently without throwing it. That is a natural opportunity for us to work on setting it down on a surface. In regards to discrete trial teaching, that is more so her Give Me program. The instructor is stating, give me, the child responds, and then she is reinforced for following through with that demand. Wrapping up case study 2, here is the conclusion. Both biting self and others and throwing were the targets for decrease for E. Regarding functions of behavior, biting only had one function, and it was escape. Throwing had two functions, the primary being escape and the secondary being sensory automatic. And the evidence-based interventions used with E include discrete trial teaching, antecedent interventions, naturalistic interventions, and differential reinforcement of alternative, incompatible, and other behavior. Thank you so much for viewing case 2, and I look forward to you viewing case 3. Thank you.